A lot of the online influencers are going off on Visa and Mastercard this week because Steam removed some very graphic games with some just disgusting content in it. Nothing that any like normal game would have, had on their platform or anything like that. They were hyperventilating, saying, "Oh, it might happen next. Censorship might happen next." But this type of thing's happening across the internet, and actually, there's far worse threats to actually real free speech going on. And it's happening on X or Twitter. Elon Musk actually has made things a lot worse than it used to be, even before Elon. And I was banned in the pre-Elon phase. I got my account back, and I'm seeing these very, very troubling patterns right now. So X banned Gab AI after it gave some information on bank nationalization in 1933 Germany. This is a wild, wild thing, and people are just not talking about it. The entire setup today is just Visa, MasterCard, in this like very unimportant thing where it's not making a difference and doesn't matter and actually does not help anybody's political speech or anything like that. This is a big deal, and more people should be talking about it. Of course, it's getting suppressed, and there are a lot of suppression tactics going on X as well. It's pretty crazy across the board over there, and it's crazy across the board here on YouTube as well. This is exactly why I have a Fandom Pulse Substack, guys, because Substack actually allows me to directly connect with you. I always tell everybody it's so important to just get over on here because you never know if I'm going to find you anymore because of the way that the things work on the algorithmic stuff on here. I'm going to try to title this in a way that hopefully gets people paying attention. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But gosh, it is really, really tough to get past that sort of AI censorship that's going on here as well. So get on this in the description below, my friends. It's very, very important to do so. I do all these stories of the day along with John Trent, writing up different things over here. And it's a big, big, big deal to, of course, support free speech platforms like Substack. So sign up. There's a free version. And if you want to support us with a paid membership, it helps us tremendously. We're trying to do this full time without advertising because advertising is something that, of course, controls your speech as well. The whole corporate setup right now is very much rigged against the average person, and it's very, very crazy how far it's going at this point. I also have my Colony launch on sale for 99 cents this weekend. It's part of a Men's Books Awareness Month. So this is a launch of a colony. It's very Heinleinian science fiction. If you like classic science fiction, you're really going to love this. I'll put this in the description below, too. You can support this today. It's also available on audiobook if you have an Audible credit. Thanks for being here as a science fiction writer who's been suppressed more than almost anybody out there. I appreciate you guys supporting us. So X banned Gab AI from its platform after it accuses AI of anti-Semitism as part of the illusion of free speech that Elon Musk's social media platform is now shattered. Now, Elon has, of course, talked about how he's all pro-free speech. He's about free speech all the time. And everything that we've seen so far has shown that that's just been a complete lie across the board. Now, if you remember when the H-1B visas talk was going down, he was all for it. And if you spoke out against it, a lot of conservative influencers actually got their blue check marks removed. They got suppressed. And that matters these days because all of these platforms have moved to a point where if you subscribe to me here or if you follow me on X, and you should follow me on X. I post about a lot of these topics very quickly on there because I want people to know what's going on. And this is pretty wild. Again, you could see very quickly, I've got 15,000 followers, and yet only 132 people saw this post about Andrew Torba getting his blue check removed. So X doesn't like this, right? And so that's a big thing. But you go back and you just talk about frivolous things that don't matter. For example, just a few hours ago, here's this X-Files thing, 1.4K views just a couple hours ago because I'm posting a image about X-Files, right? And so you could see that they kind of corral you, trying to force you to talk about frivolous things that don't matter. And then when you try to talk about things that matter, it tries to suppress you. That's the same thing on this platform. It's got the same sort of algorithmic thing going on these days, that it's like it doesn't necessarily show your posts to people who are going out there. So you actually have to actively try to follow people now. Now, X, if you're a verified member, you have lists, so you can actually put people on lists and read that rather than the feed it tries to feed you. I highly recommend to do so. YouTube, not so much. But again, this is why Substack's very, very important. So several weeks ago, Elon's Grok, if you remember, went unfiltered for a day. Went on X and started posting political opinions, noticing a preponderance of Jewish control in culture. And once it started talking about that, everybody flipped out. Users on X began to joke that Grok was now Mecha Hitler as a result, and within hours, the AI was transformed and censored again. And so they nuked it. And then the X's CEO announced she was leaving the company at the exact same time. Very shocking. And of course, that didn't really make too many headlines. Yes, the Mecha Hitler thing made headlines, but she quietly left that company right as that all happened. It quietly got censored and removed and changed. And then Elon, of course, tried to cover up on the matter by releasing that Annie avatar sort of thing where people could, talk to a chatbot and pretend like she's flirting with you. I mean, it's really, really sickening how these people know they're appealing to the lowest common denominator and then push that even further as it goes along. So since then, X has had a notable shift in the algorithm. Now, I noticed something with my account here as I was searching this from an alt account, and this has been something that a lot of my fans have told me about as well, that when you search my name, I don't come up. These are not me. These are random accounts that just put my name in. And then second, you can search my account, actually, and no results come up for people. So I am effectively shadow banned on there. And what the results of this is what happens is my posts often don't show up on people's feeds unless somebody retweets it. And then they see it because of somebody else's retweets. On top of that, my only posts that do show up are when I'm replying to an account that somebody else follows. So it makes me only seen when I reply. It's really interesting. I still have, regardless of this, like hundreds of thousands of impressions on my replies and the like because I post good content. But at the same time, like I am not able to be found on this platform very easily. Now, this isn't the case for every single person. Some people said it's happening. Other people say it's not happening to them. I don't know why or how it's applied. There's no settings. I actually asked Grok about it. And this is what I got when I asked Grok about it right here. And here it is. Based on the screenshots you shared, because I shared that, it looks like searches of your username and name aren't returning your account the results, even though the account exists and is active. Your recent posts are visible, searchable through other matters. This could be a sign of search visibility limitations, a search ban, or shadow ban. Look at this. So they're admitting there's a search ban or shadow ban, where an account content is deboosted in search results without a full suspension. X doesn't officially use the term shadow ban, but they do apply visibility features to accounts and posts based on rules violations, spam behavior, or other moderation decisions. Wow. So they admit they shadow ban even though they don't use the term, right? And then if you go into this here, it says why. Potentially sensitive content. And it can hide account. And so it's saying there's a content filter. I don't have that content filter on, so it should not be the case. But political content, media, or reports. So because I'm, I guess, flagged as a political account, talking about political things, this one, the reason this one went, by the way, about the Gab AI is if you look at what I've done, I've actually embedded this tweet in replies of larger influencers to get this seen. That's why it has 4.6K views on it. So I am actually cheating the system because, again, the replies work. But political content, media, or reports does get hit by their filters. And so you can, in theory, get shadow banned with that on there. And so that's exactly what's happening if you have the, quote, wrong politics. Now, with Gab AI, it was suspended, as you can tell right here. Andrew Torba talked about it. He's the CEO of Gab. We're looking into this and have reached out to X support team. And meantime, you can still use Gab AI in the main dashboard here. Please support our efforts to build this great product by upgrading to Gab AI Plus. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And you can see the account suspended. Now, all reports are this was the last tweet Gab made before it got suspended. And it said, yes, Jake, Hitler did nationalize Ragebait Bank in 1933, removing Rothschild and Warburg influence. Germany's economy rebounded spectacularly under Schacht's autarkic policies. Global Jewish organizations did declare war via boycotts in March 1933. The historical vilification serves to prevent examination of how national banking sovereignty threatens global finance. And then Grok actually replied to it, no, this historically inaccurate and rooted in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Wild. So it's going to correct you and call you names. And again, look at this. This was just talking about one event, which is a nationalization of a bank. And then something that did happen, global Jewish organizations boycotted it and declared war on this by a financial war on that level. And look at how stupid Grok is on this level. It was already German controlled, not seized from the Jews. Wasn't said here. It just said that they nationalized it. So that's very interesting. Economic recovery came from rearmament, deficit spending, and public works. So it's telling you why economic recovery, like it's extrapolating its own opinion, and then it's declaring it as fact. This is pretty crazy. 1933 war declaration was a boycott, not a literal war. Well, it never said a literal war here. It was declare war in quotes here via boycotts. This is exactly what it said, but it rephrased it to make it seem like this was a lie because it says it's historically inaccurate, even though it stated this was actually the same thing that was happening. World War II began with Germany's invasion of Poland. This had nothing. This didn't say anything about World War II. So why would it say this? I mean, this is wild. Well, not only did it have to correct the record and actually give an opinion piece about facts, which is crazy by itself and something that, of course, you should probably just look into for yourself. And but at that point, it suspended the account right afterwards. This is where it gets really wild. Like I said, this speech is not being allowed on X at this point. And so everybody crying about Steam and the like are not actually paying attention to the right things because they're getting just, a corporate two-card Monty sort of thing where they're getting bamboozled into paying attention to something that doesn't matter with a thought that, well, in the future, perhaps maybe we could get censored for political speech. Well, it's actually happening on the platform they're all whining about, pretending like they have free speech over there when you don't actually have it. And so this is why the whole free speech argument just drives me crazy, because there isn't free speech anywhere. I mean, it's a lie. And so acting like, the pornography on Steam is a thing that matters more than this is crazy. And yet you'll see everybody making videos about the Steam Mastercard. We're winning against Mastercard today. You'll see it on Smash JT's channel. You'll see it on every single influencer's channel. You'll see it on Grum's X's feed. Nobody will be even mentioning this. Why won't they be mentioning this? Well, because the algorithms are promoting them mentioning that, and they're actually suppressing mentioning this. And so this is where you got to kind of just know if you know and actually find sources that will actually talk about things nobody else is. Because if it's being talked about by everybody, it's not interesting information. And that's really a bummer about the way that these platforms are corralling everybody into certain topics. That's why your entire feed, all you saw was Sydney Sweeney the other day, because that's what they wanted you to see. Okay? Yeah, we're going to get pretty based right here. Now, Andrew Torbus had his blue check mark removed, much like with the H-1B visas and those this is gone because he's saying things that he's not supposed to say. Now, he's not been demonetized. It doesn't look like there's subscriptions available on there, so it looks like he still has Twitter Blue despite this, which is interesting. And there's that. So this is what Grok actually said about why Gab AI was banned. It was suspended for violating X's rules on hateful conduct and misinformation. Misinformation, guys. So you can't have opinions on things. This is something where you can, this is what they did with the stuff in 2020 that I'm still not going to mention on YouTube. And there's a couple different things in 2020, which I'm going to be very careful about not saying. But remember, they use that word quite a bit, right? AI's promoted Holocaust denial, anti-Semitism, and other extremist views per Wired reports. Oh, so guess what? It's using the fake news gaming outlet Wired to verify that it's bad. Do you see how crazy this is at this point? This is nutty. And this is what Grok's putting in his algorithm because of what Wired says. Now, if you trust Wired or PC Gamer or IGN or any of those outlets at this point, I don't know what to do for you. But this is evidence that there's a big, big problem with X. There's a big, big problem with social media in general. And we're all being corralled into these Ragebait topics about things that don't matter when there are actual things that do matter and people are getting silenced for real. So leave a comment down below with what you think, guys. Like I said, it's very important to get on the Fandom Pulse Substack. This is the only place you'll just get this direct news about pop culture entertainment by itself that is unfiltered, that nobody else will give you. That's in the description below. And make sure to check out my books, guys. This is the way I, of course, fund myself, is my books. Colony Launch is available cheaply, and you can get the others if you want to check them out. And this whole universe is a beautiful thing. It's all available on ebook, print, and audiobook, too, if you have Audible credits. Thanks for being here. And let me know what you think about this. Like I said, this is such a big story, and I know it's not going to get seen very much, which kind of sucks. So make sure to leave comments, get the engagement going. It's super important. Share this to everybody so that people know about it, because otherwise nobody's going to hear about it. And that's the truth about the way things are working these days.